Hello, Loomers. Sorry we're so rudely cut off at the end of the last video, but we finished the first 3 triangles on our Entrelac. Those are these right here. And now we're getting ready to do this triangle right here, which is the beginning of the second row of sections. So this, like the triangles before, is an increase. Starts off from 1, goes all the way up to 7. But unlike the other ones, it attaches as it goes to the end of this triangle here. So in order to do that, we get our crochet hook, which I seem to lost. Oh, here it is. Okay, I got a little nook here. I like using the wood ones because it doesn't slip as much. So before we start knitting, after we've cast on here, we go to this second section, which is the last triangle on the bottom, and we remove it from the loom. We start at this end here. We put the stitch on our hook in order all the way to the other end. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the crochet hook. This last one we put on the first peg here of the next section. So we have our cast on plus the last stitch from the previous section on the first peg here. Now, it's a triangle, so we're going to do an increase from here to there, all the way to 7. So let's get over there to do that. Now we knit these 2 bottom stitches over the top stitch. For second row, we knit the second peg. And then we take another stitch off of our crochet hook. And we put it on the peg. So now we have 2 on this peg again. And now we knit that first peg and pull both of them over. Now we knit the second and the third peg. And put another stitch on the peg. Now we go back to the first peg. Now we knit to the fourth peg. Take another stitch off, put on the first peg, and then knit back to the first peg. Now we knit to the fifth. Put another stitch on the peg. We knit to the sixth. Put another stitch on. Knit back to the first. Now we knit to the seventh. And we put our last stitch on. So let's look at this again. Okay, this is where we added all the stitches. You see, you can kind of see the stitches from here, the color bleeding through that one seam. And then this section right here will be our open stitches that will later attach to this on the third row. But for now, we're going to just leave them on the loom, and we're going to move along to this section, which is going to be knit off of the side of this triangle. Now, as you see, the side of that triangle is stretched out right here, waiting to be put on the loom. So let's do that. Because we slipped the stitches on the ends, we have these nice big stitches that are easy to see. Not so easy to grab all the time though. The last one is a little small. Oh, not the last one. Okay, so now again we have stitches on every single peg. So let us finish off this one triangle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so we have it set up to start this, but as you see here, look, it attaches to the next triangle. So here's our next triangle and our crochet hook. Remove them in order from the opposite end and put them on the hook. Alright, that's all of them. And this last one, we want to put it right here on the first peg of that section. So there's not going to be any increases or decreases here. Just be knitting whole rows. Again, we pull the bottom two over the top. Now, since we are going to want 7 over here, this side doesn't really matter, so we don't have to worry about that. Knit over. Now we put another stitch on. Oh, look at what I did. Yeah, this is why markers are important. I just knit that one and I don't want to. So let's tink. It's a good skill to have. I take the loop that I just flicked over the top and I flick it back. This was a tight one, remember? There we go. Undone. Now I'm back where I wanted to be. And I knit all the way across. another stitch on. Another stitch. Another stitch. We're almost done. Our last stitch. Okay, now I just want to check to see how many side stitches I have available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have enough. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So what I'm going to do on this last row is instead of slipping this stitch, I'm going to knit it. And do one more row for good measure. Which should leave me 7 over here now. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, good. So let's knit back to our first peg so we can get ready to start the next section. Okay, so we just did this section right here, and so now it's time to do this section. And this section, as we see, is connected to the very first triangle. So let's pull that second triangle side up onto the loom. There. The second triangle is on the loom, ready for this. And now we just have to take these off. Here, move over a little bit onto our crochet hook. Okay, so let's take that last one off and put it on the first peg. Now, we are going to knit this just like we did the one before. Then knit back. Okay, since the rest of this is just exactly the same as the last one I did, I'm going to stop recording and just knit it, and then I will meet you in time to do the last triangle for this row. See you then.